As it sits there, with the first glimmer of morning sunlight gently gracing its hull, Miss Budweiser appears almost tranquil, at peace with herself. But as the day unfolds, this racing machine and her creators come alive. That early morning tranquility is quickly shattered by the sound of power and thunder generated by this turbine engine. It is here at the Budweiser Boat Shop in Seattle, Washington, that champion racers are built virtually from scratch. Tended to year-round by a crew of 9 specially trained designers and mechanics. Their challenge, construct the fastest yet safest hydroplanes in the world.
We're all in love with what we're doing, and it's the fact that it's not such a monotonous job like somebody may have on an assembly line. Each day is a new plan of attack. Each day is a new problem, and as people may think that this is now the time you might call it an off-season, well, actually right now is when the work is being done. Right now is when we're constructing new boats, rebuilding the engines, and it's this work that's done these months now that prepares us for having a successful season.
Members of this crew have designed and built a new hydroplane racer each of the last 4 years. The cost of each boat may startle you. By the time they are researched, designed, parts purchased, and boats built, the total cost is said to approach $1 million. Keep in mind that a single propeller runs $10,000, a rudder almost $7,000. The research and development never ends. It seems there is always a new racer in the blueprint stage, on the drawing table. Nowadays, computers play an increasingly important role in the boat's many functions. And the Budweiser crew has even consulted with NASA about the design and construction of these futuristic racers.
Most of the racing doesn't take place on the race course. It takes place weeks and weeks ahead of time and months ahead of time, all winter long. The engineering and all the work that goes in by the crew, all the homework and the design and the trial and error and things like that. And the accumulation is naturally getting on the race course.
Here they come, racing into the first turn with better than 30,000 people here at Marine Stadium watching on.
The race course is where all the hours of research, design, and construction work together with the talents of a Jim Kropfeld to hopefully produce a winner. But like Kropfeld says, it is here at this Seattle shop where many races are won or lost. Building a champion is an extremely complex process. For a further glimpse of that, listen to some of these crew members who were asked to explain in simple terms how various parts of the Budweiser hydroplanes work.
As the air comes in through the compressor inlet, it's drawn into the compressor section. Now here is the compressor, 7 stages axial, and as the air travels back further, it gets into a centrifugal impeller compressor. The centrifugal impeller compresses the air farther, and it is diverted out to the outside of the hot section of the engine.
It's important that the wear pattern between the gears is proper, because with the amount of horsepower and torque that we're running through these gearboxes, they unload and load as the propeller hooks up with the water. And if the wear pattern is not right here, then we can see problems that are, and when one of these lets go, it's very messy.
We've chosen to use a modular frame setup, as you see here, basically for the simplicity of lining our gearbox and our engine application together as one unit prior to going into the race boat. Years ago, when we ran the V12 engines, that was one of the versatilities we had with that program, was to be able to take and drop the gearbox and the engine line together into the boat and made it with a shaft.
As you can readily tell, even simplified explanations sound complex when you're talking about building the world's most powerful racing vessels. And keeping them safe is another matter entirely. The Miss Budweiser racing team was the first to pioneer the ultimate in safety, use of an enclosed cockpit. The F-16 canopy is built of plexiglass. The system inside includes a form-fitting seat, a restraining harness, and emergency air supplies.
Okay, Jimmy.
Okay, radio's on, computer's on.
Okay, things okay.
In the sport of racing, safety and speed do not always exist harmoniously. But the goal of this team is to take a sport some call the most dangerous in the world and transform it into one of racing's safest.
The fact that the boat went over twice, we're not really very happy with that. But on the other hand, we are certainly running the boat to its ultimate potential, and that's basically what a racing vehicle is about. And if we're not using it to its ultimate potential, well, then we're not going fast enough.
I think the boats have reached a point where they're fast enough, quick enough. Now we're working on keeping the safety aspect, bringing that up as high as we can get it. We're working on ways right now to avoid the blowover like I've had in the past. We're doing some studies. We're having studies done by other people and wind tunnel tests and things like that. That's our big evolution right now.
The latest evolutionary step for the Miss Budweiser occurred this past March. That's when the boat was tested on Seattle's Lake Washington. The test run itself proved to be something of a media event. Everyone gathered to see how this world champion would perform after 6 months of off-season adjustments and fine-tuning. For the entire Budweiser crew, months of work came down to minutes of anxious moments. All wanted to know if their creation is ready to defend its world title.
Really impressive. Of course, to me, it feels like it's not going anywhere, but you know, the ride's so smooth, the water was so smooth today, and the boat handles so good that I have to look at the gauges to realize what's going on. You know, you feel like you're going about 80 or 90 mile an hour, and you have to look down, and it'd be 170 or 180, and it rode so good that it's just hard to imagine how nice it is.
We pretty much stuck to our game plan today, and everything worked at such a good pace that we didn't really have to change any of our objectives, and we're very happy and pleased with today's test.
With the test run successfully completed, this boat and its crew will now attempt to win its 3rd consecutive world title, its 4th championship in the last 5 years. Another racing season is about to begin for this stallion of the sea.
Half of my life, it has been my life, and I hope for the next 20 more years it'll continue to be my life.
Maybe the next 50 more years.
Oh, wow. I'll settle for 20.
Outwardly, he laughs, but deep inside, Bernie Little longs for yet another world title.
That's right.
9 times over the past 25 years, the Miss Budweiser racing team has celebrated a championship. Number 10 may be just around the corner. In the sport of unlimited hydroplane racing, with its speed and grace, danger and thrills, the Miss Budweiser team has carved a niche for itself. The owner, a small-town boy from Ohio, a successful businessman with a zest for speed, a love of challenges, a knack for winning. The driver, 20 career victories, the highest winning percentage in the history of hydroplaning, a 6-time member of boat racing's prestigious Hall of Champions. The team, ever intent on designing a boat that's bigger and better, faster and safer. And finally, Miss Budweiser, a $1 million racing machine, sophisticated and graceful. More than 3 tons of advanced technology whose only duty to racing history is to rewrite it. An unlimited hydroplane creating unlimited excitement. Unlimited excitement, a look at the world's fastest boats featuring Miss Budweiser, has been brought to you in part by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you.